Hey guys, Ferret here, and welcome back to another Manga First Take, and today we're going to be taking a short look at Kuroko's basketball. That is what it's called, right? Yeah, because I keep thinking of it in the anime term, which is like Kuroko in a basket. Anyway, so it's actually been quite a long time since I've really gotten into or read a sports manga. I've read a few, but really not many, which is surprising because one of my favorite manga I've really ever read probably is Eyeshield 21. So Eyeshield 21 is a story about football, and football, the American football. I'll put that out there for any of my international fans. So it's a story about football, and it's about like this young kid, kind of scrawny, and it's an amazing manga. It's like 37 volumes long. It's so good. And so I kind of went into Kuroko's basketball here, sort of with Eyeshield 21 in mind, because that's kind of my standard for, you know, sports manga type deal. And so basketball isn't my favorite sport, but I do enjoy basketball, and there's something about sports manga that is just so good. So we start out with what's interesting, I thought most about this manga, and we'll start off with the characters a little bit here, is that the manga is called Kuroko's Basketball, but he doesn't even seem like the main character, at least at first. Maybe he'll kind of grow more into the role as it goes, but we have another main character who obviously is going to play a huge role in the series, name of Kagami. And so he is this young, I guess you could say stud. He played in America for a while, and he's come back over to Japan, you know, to participate in basketball. He wants to be the best in the world, you know, as a typical sports manga does. But it prefaces all of this with comparing all of our characters to a mysterious miracle generation. And so you have the miracle generation, which was this group of 5 players who were unbelievable. They made like the greatest team sort of all time, but now that they've like all gone to high school and stuff, they've all gone their separate ways, and they're all at their own different schools. But there's rumored that there was also a Phantom Six Man as well, who also played on this team, but really isn't much known about him. And that obviously, spoiler alert, is Kuroko. And so Kuroko is kind of this, he calls himself the Shadow. He's a shadow. He's sort of like invisible on the field. I still got football on the mind. So he's kind of invisible on the court. But he's basically, I guess you could say, sort of like an amazing point guard. His passing abilities and his ability to just kind of go invisible, and so no one notices him, is sort of off the charts. And so this kind of sets the stage for the manga here. They are both attending a school that isn't really renowned by any means for its basketball program. And so they're already kind of behind the 8 ball. But one thing I did like about later in this volume, it started to flesh out the other characters, which I didn't think it was going to do, because much like with Eyeshield 21, you kind of went a while without all the background characters being fleshed out, but then they got fleshed out to the point where they were hugely important to the story. And so I was worried for a little bit there that the other members of the team were going to kind of get pushed to the side, and it was all going to be about Kuroko. But that didn't happen in later in the volume. Which, by the way, is a 2-in-1, which is really nice. It's a really thick volume. It's good bang for your buck. So the background characters starting to get fleshed out, starting to become more of like solid characters themselves. The thing I was slightly hesitant about going into this manga was the art style, because the art style from the manga, it doesn't really seem that great, especially compared to Eyeshield 21 in my opinion, and maybe even some other sports manga I've seen but not read yet. And so once I actually get into the manga though, I was very pleasantly surprised. For some reason, the cover doesn't really seem to do it much justice. The art style is correct, but there seems to be a lot more detail when you actually get into the manga. And I'm sure with any manga there is, the farther you get into it, the better the art's gonna get. The art really shines when it gets to the actual games themselves, because it really captures the motion and the intensity of the games very well when matches are going on. Overall, I quite enjoyed this manga right here, Kuroko's Basketball. It's hard to tell with sports manga. With sports manga, you really need a while to get into it, in my opinion. This is a very solid base, good solid character so far. The Miracle Generation has already given us a very good step to get to, and a good like where we're going in the series. And so it's kind of like a yet to be seen. I'm pretty sure this is a pretty well acclaimed series, so I'm sure it's going to be very good. But with sports manga, you definitely need those few volumes to really get the ball rolling, to really get into a series, to let like the intensity build up, because that's what sports manga is really all about, in my opinion. But anyway, guys, I think that'll about do it for this short little review of the first volume of Kuroko's. I said the first volume, it's the first 2 volumes. It's really nice. It's only $17, so it's a little probably a bit cheaper maybe even than your average average manga. So anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you back on the prowl next time.